Welcome. I expect this to be a relatively short video since it's going to be the Monoprice Mini, which I believe is mostly assembled. It didn't come in the original packaging, so this was stuffed into the outer box. I believe it's new, just packaging got damaged because it looks like it's sealed up. So we shall see. Welcome to today's 3D print. Today we are going to play with the Monoprice Mini, the little one with the tiny little heated bed, not the Delta, but the little older one. I got this on Amazon for $123, so I couldn't pass it up. So stay tuned. Alrighty, what's inside this? A couple of really itty bitty teeny tiny filament samples. Useless filament samples. What are you going to print with that? Will it even make it to the burden tube? When did this come printed, or who knows? Instruction manual. Bag in the trash can. Made it. Yes. A silly little plastic scraper they include. Micro USB cable. Power brick. This is 4.3 amps, 15 volts. That's why it looks so little. Looks like spool holder. And power cord. Oop, that ain't gonna work. It's got a hole in the bottom. So that will work. With the other useless filament samples. Might turn Marvin. Maybe. Almost. SD card. Totally unmarked and a single Allen key. Totally unmarked. It's just a completely blank card. There it is. As expected, a pretty much fully assembled printer. That is a tiny little bugger, isn't it? Wow. Okay, that's a nice little printer. I wasn't expecting it to look that good. What's holding it? Oh. Boy, it's a little rough. Boy, that seems really rough. Oh, it's freeing up. Okay, it's getting better. I guess the bearings are just a little goofy. Is that magnetic? No. How do you adjust the bed level? You don't adjust the bed level? Really? I don't see any way of adjusting that. No way. Some neat tape here. Screw. Oh, maybe you literally adjust it with those screws. That wrench fits, and yep, I believe that's how you adjust it. Alright, there it is. 4 Allen keys. That's how you adjust the bed level. Okay. That's a cute little machine. Everything feels snug, belt's tight. Interesting. Not sure why this tape is on the side. I like the wheel. It's nice. Alrighty, here it is out of the box. What we have here is the printer fully assembled. I didn't have to do a thing to it. If you're wondering how you level the bed, that's underneath here. There's Allen key screws that are flush mount underneath here, and that's how you level it. Unmarked SD card, scraper, little spool holder, which I'm guessing will insert on the end here in some fashion. Yep. There you go, spool holder. Itty bitty useless micro USB cable. I mean, how are you supposed to plug that in? Okay. Allen key for adjusting the bed level. Your power supply, 15 volt, 4.3 amp. Scraper, and a couple of pitiful little samples of filament, but we'll try printing with them, see what happens. And a printed manual. Looks like copy paper printed, so just have a laser printer or something like that. So let's get to it. Where does the SD card go? Oh, on the side here. Okay. There it goes. We'll see if there's anything on there. What? Are you kidding me? Nope, not kidding. So much for that review. This is not the right power supply for this printer. So we'll return this, tossed in the wrong power supply. Delta Electronics, EPS4, 15 volt, 4.3 amp. I thought that was a little odd. I figured this was 12 volt. That is the wrong power supply with the printer, which means I cannot power it up. And I don't think I have any other power supply that would fit this. Flashlight. What's that? Light. Thought I might have had the mini Delta power supply here somewhere. Might not. think I'm SOL. Well, that's all she wrote for that. So, this will be one of the shortest videos you guys have ever seen. Well, you've only seen 3. But, how did they get tangled so quickly? But, alright, that'll have to happen later, because I have to get a power supply for this. I don't have one. Well, shortest review in today's 3D print history. This is not the power supply for this printer. It doesn't even fit, and I was suspicious about the 15 volts. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 12 volts, so I can't even power it up. So I'm going to have to get a power supply and try again later. Sorry about that. Keep all this together. I'll keep it right there. Binder. Stop messing with me. There we go. Alright, this will be later. Let's try this again. This one should be complete. This is the Anet E12, Anet's version of the CR10. Now the Anet E10, which is, I guess you could call that their version of the CR10 Mini, was actually a very good printer. It had a lot of quality control problems. I even had to resolder the heat bed connections because they only used 2 of the connections instead of 4 of them, and there was too much amps. It eventually burnt the plug. So I had to solder them into place. But once you got past the QC issues, and thank you CNC Kitchen for that very good head design shroud for the E10, it's a beautiful printer. It makes very good prints. I am nothing but pleased with what I get out of the E10. I think it's too expensive. I think it should be about $50 cheaper. I think it should be like a $225 printer, $240 maybe, if all the QC issues were fixed. But as far as printing goes, it was a good printer. It worked well. So now we're going to try their CR10 version and see how that goes. This is priced pretty competitively. I think it's $319, which is not a bad price if it prints well and if it doesn't have too many QC headaches. So stay tuned. Welcome to today's 3D print. We have another printer since the Monoprice Mini was a bust. Thanks to Gearbest, this is the Anet E12. That is their version of the CR10. Stay tuned. Alright, let's slice this bad boy open. Pretty sure I gotta open it from this end, so let me get my address out of here first. What is this? Probably just says it's a printer. Yes, it is. Looks like their cost is $175. I don't know if that's actually their cost or not, but interesting number. By the way, they send these printers 2-day shipping from China. That's got to cost a fortune, even from China. Because this was shipped on the 9th, and it got delayed. It was supposed to be here yesterday. It ended up coming today. But basically 9, 10, 11, 3 days, 3.5 days it was here. That's actually pretty amazing to think that you can ship a giant printer like this from China in 2.5, 3.5 days. I'm assuming this is the top. Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure this is the bottom because the Anet logo is upside down. I always do that. Every single time I get it by the bottom. Although, that'll make pulling it out a little easier. Yep, bottom. Just flip it over and dump it. Come on. Very nice. Before I eat you. Now that's an interesting packing choice. Was that to save money or was that to save the printer? I'm already not liking the packing. That does not appear to have been packed very well, unless that's actually at an angle. Okay, that is actually at an angle, so that might be perfectly okay. Is there a cheap knockoff print surface? I wonder, will my Aurora surface fit this printer? It's actually bigger. I don't know if the clips will grab that, but I might try it. I might not want to waste that until I know it works, and I already don't like that plug. Let's hope they did a better job. But this one, it's packed in foam, and then it has these cardboard bits, really, really dense cardboard bits, and they protect the corners, which will stop crush damage and impact damage from the corners when it gets hit. So it'll spread the impact over all of the foam. I don't know if that's because they use lesser foam, or if they just realized that that would help them with protecting and shipping. Either which way, I like seeing that. Yeah, rails, belt. I like the brighter orange. Maybe I'll leave those on. It is the control box and assembly. Is it dual Z? No. Single Z. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Here's the box opened up. They're fake build tacky material. I'm already not liking this plug. It's like on the E10, so hopefully that's not so bad. I do like that the plastic strips are a really bright orange. I'm still going to remove them probably. It's interesting to note that this was packed with these on the corners, which is good because that will take the impact damage and spread it over all of the foam, so it reduces the likelihood of damage and shipping. That's good. Smart move, Anet. Hopefully you used all the wires on that because this is a much bigger bed. For now, I'm going to put this on here, and if I like the print results on this printer, I will see if I can slap a piece of my Aurora A5 glass on here. It's a little bigger than this print bed, but that's okay because this has sticky stuff underneath it. So we shall see. I do have 2 pieces of this, and I do have 2 pieces of the Anycubic coming in, so I don't really need to save it, so I might as well use it. We'll see what kind of print quality I get first. I'm going to pull everything out and show you what's inside. Comes apart easy. Ooh. That was not secured. Do not like that. And once again, like on the E10, this is bent in shipment, which is easy enough to fix, but come on, Anet, get with the program here. There we go, it's straight now. I still don't like how thin it is, and I still don't like that it's a multi-port H brace. I really don't like that. It is metal though. Is that metal or is it acrylic? I think that's metal. Yep, that's metal. Okay. So that is a metal plate holding the stepper on. These are, you guys can't see what I'm talking about. It is a metal plate holding the Y stepper in place. I do not like the H brace. It's a little on the thin side, but as with the E10, they did compensate with an extra thick aluminum PCB heat bed. That is pretty darn thick. And they are, well, all the connections on here are soldered. Whether they're actually using them all is another question. I, of course, don't know if it is 24 volt or 12 volt. I'm going to guess 12 volt. Bed feels pretty firm, though. Everything appears to be metal with the exception of the hold downs for the rods, which is fine. There's no reason to make that metal or molded if you don't have to, but it would have been nice if they did, since they had a lot of lead time after seeing what everybody else did. This is metal, and it's integrated with the Z-axis switch, so that's interesting. It feels lighter than like the CR10, so I wonder if they use slightly thinner extrusion. Looks the same, 2040, 2020. Nice big bolts. Okay. Spool holder, very thin metal, but that's okay. 3D printed, just like on the E10. This part is 3D printed. Really? Fucking battery's dead. Really? Jackass. Gotta change the battery. That should have lasted longer. Oh well. Not much you can do about it. Gadgets are hungry. It says, "Feed me, damn it, feed me." I said, okay, okay, I'll feed you. Okay. Turn on the Wi-Fi again. To tools. I think it's the second one. Yep. There it goes. No shit, the internet's unavailable. Remote operation. That is not going to work. I do need to back up. Really? Come on. You gotta tangle around everything. Okay. There we go. Now I can see the whole table. What are you guys seeing? Yeah, you're seeing all that crap. That's all the boxes I'm keeping for the move coming up. Not much I can do about that. But I could do that. There we go. Stay put. That works. 2 pitiful PLA samples. I mean, the shrink wrap, I'll keep them, but lame. 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 Goodie box. Brain box. Is it connected or separate? It is separate. Good. And it looks like they did use all the connections this time. Will it be enough? I don't know. And that's sketchy. It's already set to American Power, which it should not be. Safety says set it for 220, I think. Yep, it's already set for 110. It does have the filled SD card slot like on the CR10, so you can't accidentally stuff your SD card into a hole. And they made the brain box a little more compact. I do like that. And it's got 3 of those aircraft connectors on here. Although, as before, they're not on there very good. QC is not looking good. I can turn these connectors by hand, and that is bad. Because that means if you're not careful and don't recognize that you're doing that, you're going to be twisting those connectors inside there. That's a real bad thing. You do not want to be doing that. So I'm going to have to open this up at some point and check that. Oh, it is dual Z. Okay. Some credit for that. And that is all metal. Interesting. And it does have the little hold for your filament, your cable management. Okay. It is not using V-slot. It's using the same round reels and C channel as the, and that is all loose. Bad QC. Come on, guys. You didn't learn from the E10. So that's for your hot end. Same piss poor QC as the E10. Parts are loose. Look at this. It's all loose. It's using C-rail and regular wheels, 3D printed spool holder. They should have something molded by now or buy something off the shelf. There's no reason for them to be doing that. I mean, if this printer was $100 cheaper than the CR10, I'd be like, okay. Problem is, it's not. It's priced alongside the CR10. So you're pricing it like a CR10, but it doesn't have the quality of a CR10. Bowden tube, USB cable. Well, at least they gave us tools this time. A sharpened part removal tool. A nice pair of nips, actually the same ones that Creality is using. The nice little screwdriver that the Anet is to include. Even comes with a little ruler. That's actually a nice little touch. Toss a ruler in there. Probably cost them a penny a piece, if that. So why not? It's a nice little touch. Some cable management zip ties. Full set of short Allen keys. I hate the short ones. And this one comes with a spare hot end, the heat block nozzle and heat brake. That goes in here. One thing I do like about them is that it's more exposed, but I'm betting that I can use CNC Kitchen's hot end for this. Because how much you want to bet it's the same? I bet you it is. I would be shocked if that's not the exact same. It's tight, or mostly tight. but it's the same damn off-center triangle as on the E10. They didn't learn, they just used the same part. Okay. Alrighty, here's everything that is inside the box. I do have to warn you, there are similar quality control issues as I saw with the E10. That doesn't mean it's a bad printer, but that does mean you're going to have to be careful. This was already set to 110 volts, so you European guys, be careful. If yours is set to 110 and you plug it in, it's toast. 220 safe, 110 not safe. Because if you plug a 220 into a 110, nothing happens. If you plug a 110 into a 220, smoke! Okay, comes with a spare heat block nozzle and heat break. Spare screws. Some of these might be used to install the spool holder. Actually, no, those are in here. So these are just spares. Different hammer nuts and screws. Looks like they're all the same. This comes with the 2 screws for the spool holder and the 2 screws. Why are they of different size? Why in the world are they a different size? This might be missing one of the screws. It's supposed to be 2 M620s and 2 M410s, but I see an M620 and an M415. Oops. I might have trouble assembling this printer if that part is wrong. I'm pretty sure I need 2 of those M620s to install the gantry, since this uses single instead of double, so it uses 2020 instead of 2040. Shame on you, Anet, for cutting costs there. 3D printed spool holder. The control box has the same problem that I had with the E10 control box, in that these aircraft connectors are loose. I can turn them by hand, so you do need to be careful with that and make sure you do not twist these and tear up the wires inside. Same slip-on limit switch connectors as on the E10. Otherwise, it looks pretty much like the E10. They just upscaled it. It does have dual Z, but this is loose. I can see how it wobbles there. Yeah, all those bolts up top there are loose. This one feels like it's tight. I don't see anything loose on this one, but this part has loose parts. This is not loose. This is nice and tight, but they used the same damn off-center triangle for the construction that they did on the E10. So you have 2 wheels on the left and 1 wheel on the right, which means this thing wants to pitch up like that. It doesn't seem to affect printing, but it makes tightening it down a bear. This hot end looks identical to the E10, so I could probably use the same hot end shroud replacement that CNC Kitchen designed for this as well, so I will probably do that if it fits. Spool holder, cheap metal, but it doesn't need to be strong, it's fine. Zip ties, power cord, USB cable, reader, and a micro SD card, Bowden tube, which I will probably cut in half. Even comes with a little ruler, which is kind of cool. That's a nice little addition. Cheap Build-Tech knockoff. That annoying thin, mine also came bent, 3-piece H bracket for the Y carriage plate, but it worked okay on the E10. And they do compensate by using an extra thick aluminum PCB, which I do like, because that means you get a nice stable surface. Sharpened spatula, screwdriver that's flippable. Nice pair of nips, which I don't believe the E10 came with. Maybe they don't know, but nice pair of nips, same ones that the Creality comes with. 2 lame samples of PLA in white, Allen keys, and that's it. I am going to skip through most of the assembly of this thing and just go from there. Maybe I'll do a time lapse. Actually, no, I can't do that. That would be difficult, but I'll see what I can do and go from there. That's it. I will be back. Yeah, that QC is annoying. That really, really annoys me when they do crap like that. I already need a replacement part, because that bolt's wrong. I gotta hope I have some M6s here, or I can't assemble this.
What about your box?
Well, I might go steal one from here. I'm pretty sure this is an M6. Yep. And this is not an M6. It's an M4. So, where's my box? I don't think this goes up to M6. No, this goes up to M4.
Didn't you have one that has M5 and everything?
Yeah, but I don't need M5, I need M6. So it looks like we're going to have to gank one from here. I'll just steal one from this, because this can live with just one and get me going. If it's long enough. Yes. Just barely, but that'll work. Okay. Just make sure these are extra tight.
I was standing here watching, and then I was getting ready to start choking.
The QC on this half is perfect. Everything's nice and tight. I mean, these are really tight. Why is this all loose? Come on, Anet, get it together. You need to be cheaper than Creality. You can't make a cheaper quality printer and charge the same price. People aren't going to buy it.
I was standing here watching you, and I was getting ready to start choking. I was like, oh shit, no, not while he's fucking recording.
Watch your mouth, please. It's still recording. I record 2 videos. One for Neresa's Casual Corner for the people who like the really long videos. So that's that little camera there.
I apologize, folks.
Oh, they don't care, but YouTube cares, so just be careful. Yep, these 2 top bolts were loose again, and then that camera I turn on and off for today's 3D print for the more consolidated, concise video. Yeah. They have end caps, but they're 3D printed. But again, it's cosmetic. These are 3D printed, but again, cosmetic. I'm okay with that.
So I went and stuffed my face in my jacket to choke.
It was missing one of the M6 screws, so I stole it from the base of the printer here. Since that can live with just one, it won't compromise print quality yet. So I'll have to order some M6. But yeah, come on, guys. You glued the wrong bolt with the printer, really? That's lame. That's such a noob mistake. I'm not going to use those. Put them aside. I will probably use... Yep, let's use the electric blue. Yeah, electric blue. Yeah. Is this the stuff you made tonight? Mm-hmm. Anthony here makes good rice and chicken dinner. Was that embarrassing? Good. It's delicious. I taste like a maple honey kind of taste. Sweet.
Sweet chili.
Very good.
Would you like a bowl put to the side for you?
Yes, please. That's a dumb question.
I wasn't sure if you ate, so I figured I'd ask.
No, I haven't eaten. I do like the neon orange, but I'm getting rid of it.
Big bowl, small bowl?
Big bowl.
Okay.
I am hungry. Get in my tummy.
How'd you do
It's got racing stripes. That means it goes fast, right?
Fork, spoon.
Spoon. Yum, yum, yum. Hope you guys don't mind. Haven't had dinner yet. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Make sure you tip your waiter.
Ah, tip the cook. Ooh.
Oh, that means double tip because I'm both.
There you go. I don't bite you tonight? Oh, I like biting.
Hey, you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
No, you just bite the arm. Whoa, that was not good. Yep, that's going to need readjustment. This just moved. Yeah, it's friggin' loose. Are you serious? Mega lame. There we go, that's all gone. So, these are going to have to be loosened and reseated. Since that whole damn thing just shifted. Nope. Lame! They were loose. All of them were loose. Those were tight. Those were tight. That was a little loose. Not bad though. How much you want to bet these don't line up anymore? Maybe they do. I doubt it. I am disappointed, Anet. Hey, they line up. I wasn't expecting that. I wanted to win. Oh. That's gonna go out. There we go. By the way, everybody always wonders how you get these in. Just tip the whole printer up like this. And just put your hand on the motor here to keep it from going anywhere. That's all. And that's got a lot of fluff in the way. Then you just put the screw in, that's all. Oh yeah, they left all the... I hope I didn't get none of that in my food, because that's going to really hurt if I eat that. Once again, horribly messy filings in the holes. They didn't clean them out. Just bad QC in general, man. It works, but it could work so much better if they would just put that little extra effort into it. Holes don't want to line up. Really? There we go. They really do not want to line up. God, I hate these wrenches. Any particular reason why you won't go in the hole? There we go. Okay. Remember, you gotta thread them out several turns and then thread them in. Thread them out several turns and then thread them in. So you make sure they turn. Huh, already stripped one? Really? Not a different size. I already stripped one. Lousy quality control, poor quality hardware. Come on, Anet. We need competition, not lame examples of how not to do it. Those are tight. I do not like how that does not sit properly. The bracket itself looks a little bent. Oh, they put the stupid stuff on both sides. I'll make sure these are tight first. Nope, they were loose too. Yep. They were also loose. Oh, wow. That one was totally loose at all. I mean, it wasn't even tight, not even a little bit. I think the bracket itself isn't straight, so it is all the way down. Partially through assembly, And the quality is about the same as the E10, and the bad quality control is about the same as the E10 too. These were not tight, so these moved on me. So what you're going to need to do is to loosen these a little bit, slide the bed all the way to one end, push the bed back a little bit, tighten them. Loosen those down there, slide the bed down there, that'll line these up, then tighten them. Be careful because they will move. The ones up here, they were also loose, so I'm going to have to loosen these again, raise this all the way to the top, then pop these loose and retighten them again to make sure that they're not going to bind and cause any kind of problems. What other issues? Oh, that's bone tube input. These are a little bent, the brackets themselves, but I don't think it's going to cause a problem. They are all the way down, so leave it alone. These were the only bolts on the printer that were tight. These two here and these two here and the two on the other side. And I had to steal one to do this. So I'm missing one up front now because I needed one for the gantry, since the second bolt that came was the wrong size. H bracket was bent again. I had to pull up to re-straighten it, but it does have a nice thick plate. These top bolts here were loose. The only thing not loose is the belt looks good. It could use maybe a tiny bit of tightening. I don't know. I'll let it print first. This does appear to be nice and tight, at least as tight as it's going to get with an eccentric triangle. This appears to be nice and tight. I didn't see any problems with that. I don't like the way that lifts because of this bracket. So I might design a fix for that if I can. I did not check these to see if they were tight. No, they were loose too. Basically, bad quality control, just like with the E10. So make sure you go through and align and tighten everything. I mean, the materials are okay. It's just bad quality control. Yeah, that went on fine. No complaints with that. Went on clean. It's not very durable. This feels like the same stuff that's on the E10. You're going to tear it apart pretty quick. So if this printer proves to have enough quality to be worthy of it, I'm going to just slap a piece of the Aurora Anycubic style ultrabase on here. Can I make the trash can? No, just short. I suck. Okay. This can go here. Bigger! So you pop that out, and this is just a little wire management loom. You pop it over your wire and you stick it back in. Now, you want just a little tiny bit of slack with that all the way down there, and you're good. Okay, so now that's retained. I hear something dragging. probably the belt inside the slide. Not much I can do about that. I can make sure these are tight. That one was. That one was. Are these tight? Yes. Yes. Size. One more up. I'll tighten these up a tiny bit. Just why not? Just grab the nuts so you have a little bit of torque. Just tighten them up a tiny bit. Alright, all the screws are tightened. Time to do wire management. Actually, I can install that on the roof. Yeah, that's going to go right there. 11. They are M4s, and these are probably M4s. Yep. Yep. If these aren't too long, I don't think so. They're M8s. They're 8s, so it should be okay. La-di-da-di-da. Come on. You were just on there. So I know you fit. Too long. Let's try the short ones. Oddly enough, this is thin enough metal that this might actually work. This is very thin metal. Yeah, I actually think that'll work. There's no way in hell that's too long. Yeah, that works. Okay. Where's the filament? There it is. That's gonna break. The first one broke, so I'm guessing that one's gonna break too. staying put for now, although I have it backwards. I need that to be on the other side. There we go. Spool mount on top, where it should be. Freaking starving. What I would do, hold on to this when you tighten this so that you cannot accidentally turn the plug inside there, at least until you have a chance to open it up and tighten it up from the inside. A suggestion, when you're putting these plugs on, hold the plug firmly by here, right there, and then turn the screw so that you don't let your hand turn this, so that you can't accidentally turn this connector inside here, because you will shred the wires on the inside. Do not like the heat bed connection at all. I'm kind of digging that these are actually separate. So this is Y motor and limit. Oh, that's cool. Kind of digging that. Wonder why they didn't just go all the way and make them all disconnectable. That's what I would have done. If you're going to make this many connections, just add 2 more for the rest of it. As before, slide the sheathing off, grab it with your tool, and shove it on. Then slide your sheathing back over it. Why not? It's there. There you go. I think I'm going to jam mine right in here. Yep, perfect. Jam that bad boy right in there. Where are those zip ties? Now, something I like to do is take a piece of this stuff and put it inside your zip tie here so that it pushes on the wire and keeps it from going anywhere it's not supposed to go. So you can crank this bugger down tight. Now, if something pulls on this, it doesn't yank your connections out of here. Let me show you that again. Same for the zip tie around. I shoved it inside the C-rail with this coming around here and this going under here. A little bit of slack, okay? And then I put a piece of that tubing in here before I zip tied it tight. Now, when I pull on this, I can drag the printer around by this, and it won't slide, so you're never going to have anything pull on your connections here. The nice thing is they are coded, by different plug type, so you can't get it wrong. Although I bet you Anet would figure out a way. This is probably this extruder. X. And then where is the limit switch? Right there. Yeah, easy access. Improve that a little bit, although it's still in the way. The screw is still in the way of the plug. So you have to actually bend the plug up in order to put the damn limit switch on. Come on, Anet! You literally just extended some brackets and said, hey, here we go, E12. Come on! Do you see how popular Creality is? Do you see how much freaking money Creality is making selling their CR10 printers? There are two reasons Creality is making so much money selling their CR10 printers. One, it's a good design. It works. Two, quality control. You have neither. You don't have great design. It's good design. It's not bad. It works, but it's not great. There are very small changes you could make that would make it great, and you don't make them. You had the time from when you made the E10 to when you made this to make an iterative update to change some of the flaws in the design. This should be an equilateral triangle. This bottom wheel should be centered between these top two wheels, not offset. That's why this will always move when you push on it, no matter how much you tighten it up, because it's an offset triangle. It is never going to be stable. All your bolts were loose. Come on. Quality control here, guys. Is even missing a bolt. And then obvious issues with the first design, such as this bolt being in the way of this connection for your limit switch, you didn't bother correcting. All you have to do is move the limit switch. But I think you used exactly the same parts. I think this is an E10, and they just extended it. That's it. They extended these frame pieces, the lengths of them, and made an E12. Otherwise, I'm willing to bet you these brackets and all of this stuff are identical to the E10. And although this bed uses all 4 connections now for the heater, the bed's also bigger. So I don't know if that'll be enough. We will see. Ask me in 4 months. That's how long it took to burn the first one. Off to the side. Again, when tightening it, make sure you do not allow the plug to spin, or you will shred those wires inside. Okay, that is not good. I want this to be above this, because this has to rise. What the hell? Damn, even the goddamn plugs are loose. is for QC. Is for QC. You need to fix your QC issues. You need to make slight iterative changes where they're needed. And your printer needs to be cheaper than the CR10. Same issue as last time. The button sticks out. Cut it away so that you don't accidentally hit that goddamn reset button when you're turning the freaking knob. It's like, come on, guys, get it done. Two separate cables. Oh yeah, they are separate. Remember, run your second Z wire on the outside. So go under, around on the outside so that your bed never comes into contact with it. It probably won't. They did face the motors backwards. They did do that. The motors face backwards now, and the Y motor faces sideways. So that's one upgrade they made. I'm sorry I'm razzing on you, Anet, but these changes are so easy to make. You make a good printer. At least if this prints like the E10, this is going to be a good printer. But you make these little tiny, what are you doing, errors in your design. It's like, come on, guys, get it together. You're a company making printers. You make one of the most popular printers on planet Earth, second only to the CR10, the Anet A8, which I'm dying to get my hands on one day if I ever have the time to actually build a printer. And you keep making little goober errors on these printers that you don't fix, even when you're told about them. That limit switch is loose. There we go. You know what the printer says now? Feed me. I am getting readings from the thermistors. Okay, had to shorten that because it was way too long. That might be too short, but we'll see. No, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. That's not too hard of a bend. I should have made it a tiny bit longer. No, that's about right. You have almost enough for two. You see a light for the heat bed, so it's running. Bed temperature is rising pretty quick. do not like the fact that it's on this side. At all. Make sure these are tight. So remember, these were loose on the E10. Big. Really? You don't want to go in? What's your problem? That might have been whatever was in there. I did get a couple of bubbles in there. Not many. I should have been a little more careful with that. Close enough. I gotta say, it heated up fast. How did they do that? Let's see how hot it can get. Let's see if it'll even reach 100. In the time that this was on, it reached 50 degrees. That's pretty fast. I wonder if it has assistive leveling. It's already at 61. It's just preheat. Okay, it looks like it doesn't have an assistive leveling. I can't adjust the jerk and acceleration in here. I don't know if I can save it. Store. Yes. So this does still allow you to change jerk and acceleration and save it, which is nice. No SD card. That's right. $67. So it got to 50 really fast, but it's struggling past that. Not badly yet, but it's struggling. Unmarked SD card. Belt nice and tight. 70. Bed's leveled low, close enough, I think. Anything on the SD card? $76. Let's throw a Marvin on here. I can probably use my E10 profile, same hot end, same extruder. That's sweet. Well, it reached 84 degrees, so it might be able to reach ABS temperatures. Maybe. good so far. Quiet. The fans are noisy. The printer itself is quiet. I'm going to let you guys run until the Marvin's done printing, and then I'm going to turn it off because this whole entire suite takes like 4 hours to print. I'm probably going to go to bed and just let it print once I see that the bed level's still good when it hits the Benchy. Because it's going to do Marvin, Benchy, Disc, and Rocket. And then I will resume when I resume in the morning and give my final for the other camera as well. We'll go from there. But I'll let you guys stick around until it's the Marvin. I know some people like that, so why not? I'll be going over it again anyway, and this will help my thoughts, so I might as well go over some with you guys. Annoying hot end, but I'm pretty sure that's the same exact hot end on the E10, so I can just replace that with the same CNC Kitchen hot end, I think. Same roller wheel issue, the non-equal triangle. I have a feeling I could take any part off this printer and swap it with the E10 except for the rails. It looks identical. Shape of all the parts, everything. They literally took all their existing parts and upscaled it. Although they did change the plugs in the box. That's different. And they did turn the motors backwards and the Y sideways. They still left the bogus reset switch sticking out like that, so just take your nippers and snip it off. You can still press it, but now it's flush. The cables look good. I mean, mechanically, the printer looks fine in general. It's doing a very good job printing. It even got Marvin's crotch without a problem in the world. Perfect. This print surface does work pretty well, but it's not very strong. It's delicate. Be careful. These are loose on mine, and these need to be aligned for you to get any kind of good printing. I did not check my Z alignment, so I need to do that. I need to raise it all the way up and make sure these aren't bowed on the top. I haven't done that yet. But nothing I'm printing is going to get tall enough for that to be an issue just now. I mean, from my perspective, I love having another CR10 size printer because I can do more CR10 sized prints. As a person buying a printer, I probably would not suggest buying this over the CR10 unless you can get this for a lot cheaper than the CR10. If this has E10 quality prints, it'll be worth the QC repairs to make it fine. And the bed did heat up crazy fast. It got to 50 crazy fast, and it already got to higher temperatures than the CR10 can get to. Stock. The stock CR10 is not getting to 86 degrees. I think I capped out like 82 after like 40 minutes. This got to 86 pretty quick, so it might actually be able to hit ABS temperatures. I will be sure to test that at some point. How's it looking? Yeah, it's looking good. Nice and clean like the E10 so far, but I mean, obviously, only got the legs. All the bolts were loose. You gotta tighten everything. Check all your grub screws. Check all these bolts. Make sure these are aligned. Check them. Check these up here. I was missing one bolt for here, so I had to take a bolt from here, so I'll have to replace that. Mental note, order M620s off Amazon. Probably just get an M6 assortment. Be careful shoving your screws in. I had metal shavings inside the one hole, just like on the E10, so you're going to want to clean them out first. What else? I'm kind of concerned about the stepper motors not sitting flat. I might actually pull them apart and bend those brackets so they sit nice and flat. It's a 90-degree bracket, and basically it's bent a little past 90 degrees, so the motor's not sitting flush. It's being held up a little bit, and that's the bracket. Not a big deal. Just, you know, I gotta pop it off, bend the bracket a little bit, and then put it back on, and it should be okay. I wish they'd use V-slot wheels like the CR10 does, but this does work. And I do use my E10 a lot, and it hasn't given me any trouble, so it does work. Print surface is junk, it's delicate, but it does work, it does stick. What else? Careful with the wrenches, they're cheap. Actually, I don't even think it's the wrenches, I think it's the actual, I think it's the hardware is cheap, so it wants to strip real easy, so be careful with that. Beyond that, I don't have too many complaints. The printer does work well. I will give them credit for that. You can use your spare parts, the bolts, and don't use the ones that were for the spool holder. Use the bolts in the spare parts bag with the T-nuts, and you can mount your spool holder up top here like I do. Just have it hanging off the edge there, and you're fine. If I can just lift that up. This is using my CR10 profile, so it's probably going to under extrude a tiny bit, because the E10 needed a 1-to-1 extrusion, while the CR10 needed about 97%. But so far it looks okay. I got no complaints, besides the QC, but print quality wise so far it looks fine. All the plugs went together well, everything was labeled nicely, the bags were labeled nicely, all the plugs were labeled. Fans are a little noisy in the box, I'll be upgrading those. I do not like the fact that the aviation connectors on the back were loose, so that's going to need to be, I'm going to have to open that box up and check out those connectors, tighten them up. All the steppers were tight. These bolts were tight, these were not. These were aligned properly this time, slid right on, although I did have to push the extrusions out to get the holes to line up. I wish they would use 2040 like Creality does with 2 bolts. I think that would be better for a printer this size. I think it's okay for the E10, but for a 3x3x4 printer, I would like to see 2 bolts and the thicker extrusion here. You're okay with the single on top, but I prefer the double here. That's all I can think of offhand. It is quiet. It's quieter than the E10 was at first. I'm going to leave the plastic porn for tomorrow so I can get it from the other channel as well. So you're going to have to wait. Well, I guess for you that's about 30 seconds. That's it. We're just going to let the Marvin print. This is Toner Plastics Electric Blue, which they're out of now, I think. Nice blue. It's like a baby blue. Baby boy blue. It's nice. I like it. I don't have to do any more with this, so I can close that. Oh shit. People are calling me. I will see you guys later. Welcome back to today's 3D print. It's the next day. It made the test prints. I have the Rocket, the Benchy, and the Marvin. I'm going to include pictures at the end. For now, I can give you a little video. It is not bad, but not great. You're not going to see much me holding them up, so I'm just going to wait and show you the pictures at the end. Where'd that mic go? It ran away again. I'll show you the pictures at the end. You're not going to see much here. And it works. It has a lot of QC issues. Almost all the same QC issues as the E10. Come on. First, there's missing a bolt for the gantry. I had to take one of these bolts, so I got to order some more bolts. That's fine for now. These were loose, so when I tried to pull the strips off, these moved. So you have to realign them. The way you do that is you slide the bed, loosen them, slide the bed to one end, gently push it back, tighten them. Loosen those. Slide the bed all the way down, pull back, tighten them. That'll align the rails for you. Because if the rails aren't aligned, it's going to have binding. And even if it does work, the binding is going to cause noise to be introduced into your prints, and you don't want that. They did rotate the motors. That's a good thing. But half the screws in the entire thing were loose. These were loose. These were loose. A couple of the grub screws were loose. Probably not enough to cause a failure, but enough that eventually it'd come loose. It does go to the full 400 millimeters. These big bolts here were the only ones that were tight. Actually, the Z motors were also tight. The wire for the micro switch here was in the way as well. All the same problems you have with E10, you're going to have with this, and you're going to have to fix. The heat bed does heat up fast, impressively fast, like less than 5 minutes you're at 50 degrees. The plug is the same kind of plug that's on the E10, although they are using all 4 wires, so hopefully that will improve things a little bit. Beyond that, it is working. These prints are okay, not great. Really, the battery's dead again. I just changed the battery. There we go. So, as I was saying before, the second battery died. Oh, wait a minute. That's why. Damn it. review guy. Yeah. Somebody said, hey, contact this guy. He'll send you some free filament review. I'm like, okay. I ain't turning down free filament. What the hell is this thing doing? Why the hell is it fucking several inches off the fucking build plate? Oh, it is down. Really? I'll edit all that out. But you guys get to see it. A mistake I made was that the box was too close to the printer, so this part here of the printer, the plate over here, rested on top of the box, which made me think the level was off, and so I took my perfectly level bed and made it unlevel, so I had to re-level it. Not quite low enough. Looking good. Yeah, that looks really good. I'm going to lift that a little bit. Yeah. Bubble. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. This is the Anet E10 shroud. I'm guessing it's absolutely identical to the E10 in every regard except for longer extrusion, so I'm not even going to measure it, I'm just going to print it. So, a lot of QC problems. They really goobered up the quality control on the printer. They didn't make it worse, they just didn't improve anything over the E10. So all those issues that were there in the E10 are here in this printer. And that's, well, I'm sorry, Anet, this is your second try at this. I'm not going to be as nice. I mean, you should have corrected those issues. They're easy to fix issues. Instead of spending pennies adding these stupid strips to the printer and paying somebody to install these stupid strips into the printer, forget the strips and spend the exact same amount of money to pay that person to make sure everything here is aligned and tight. That will go a long way. I know to look for these things. Average Joe doesn't. Average Joe's going to get this printer and pull their freaking hair out trying to figure out why it's not working right because of that. Hopefully it'll print as good. Something is up with the print, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what's going on. It looks okay, but it looks off. So I got to try a few more prints. This was my straight CR10 G code, so maybe that's why. But I don't really change a whole lot between one printer and another in my G code. I mean, the only thing I change is temperature, extrusion, and dimensions. There's a lot of people think there's magical tweaking in Simplify 3D. There isn't. I do. I tweak the Simplify 3D for this printer, and then I tweak it for CR10. The only thing I change is temperature and cooling and extrusion multiplier. That's it. Otherwise, the changes I make are per model. So when I'm printing this, I know I need a particular set of settings to get it to print, but those particular set of settings are the same across all printers. So like this one I know I can do with 2 outlines and 3 top and 3 bottom. Okay, so all the printers are going to do it with 2 outlines, 3 top, 3 bottom. All the printers are going to do this with no bottom and single outline corkscrew, and you know that's not going to change. The other problem I had was that I seem to be getting skipped steps on the extruder, and I'm not sure why. It's not slipping; it's skipping. I'm watching it go, and then watching it go dunk, dunk, and turn back. Because it can't push for some reason. Increasing the temperature seemed to help, but that made the print really glossy. I'm not sure why. It's almost like it was trying to shove too much filament through, but the print looks good. I mean, I got some noise. I think that's the rails. And I also think I need to tighten this belt up a little bit, so I'm going to tighten that belt. But beyond that, we'll see. I'm going to do some test prints. I got some prints queued up for it. Big snowflakes, some deer, some big tall trees. You know, I got some different prints queued up, and over the next week I will print them out and work on it and see what happens and get back to you guys. If I can make this printer print as nice as the E10, I would give it a safe to buy, even with the QC issues, because none of the QC issues are fatal. It's the same as the E10. You just got to tighten things up and tweak things. This one's more than tight enough. This one's a little loose. Otherwise, everything is okay. If a CR10 costs $400, this is not a bad deal at $320. If a CR10 costs $330, don't buy this. Buy the CR10. It's just a better quality printer. I'll get back to you and let you guys know what I find out.